and welcome to the Crochet Cakes YouTube channel. My name is Clarissabeth and I am the maker, teacher, vlogger, creator behind all of the Crochet Cakes content, and it is truly my pleasure to be here with you this month of September every week. Uploading weekly videos is not usual for me, but I was inspired this month. I think we all are super inspired when it comes to the autumn season just sneaking in, and we're like, ooh, it's cozy, spicy, crunchy leaf time. Ha! I actually remembered Rachel Maxey's thing about it, spicy, crunchy leaf time. Okay, now, I thought today we could catch up on all the crafty makes me through this video, and you in the comment section down below if you feel so inspired to share any of your makes or anything that has brought you a lot of joy in these past, I was gonna say this past month, but yeah, this past month, but also this past week. It's been a week since we last saw each other. Sorry, it's a mix of trying to get through this podcast quickly so I don't run out of my voice, and also trying not to lose a little bit of light that we have today for recording. It's very dreary out there, which, you know, just means crochet time, so usually I don't mind it, but I wanted to film a podcast today for you guys, so I'm minding a little bit. Anyway, let's get back on track and continue by thanking you for showing up each and every week whenever I upload a video. Thank you for always commenting, taking the time out of your day to spend a little bit of crafty time with me, for sharing my content, for sharing my work on Instagram, for keeping me company in all of these social media platforms, and especially to any of you that visit my website or purchase my patterns. It really means a lot, and I'm not just saying that. It really does mean a lot. Now, what have you been up to? I hope that you've been up to some interesting things. Interesting by your standards, not anybody else's standards. If interesting for you is actually having a day where you can sleep in, I want that for you, okay? I want that for you. I'm not judging, just want to make sure you're having the best life you possibly can. That's all. This past month has honestly been a little weird. Yeah, it's been weird. There's been ups, there's been downs, there's been valleys, hills, and plateaus. And it honestly doesn't feel like September's already out the window. And it is. It is. Like, my husband and I have been planning to visit my sister for her 40th birthday. She lives in Maryland. And we are going to be driving up. And I was chatting to her, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll see you soon. She's like, yeah, I'll see you next week. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, next week. You're coming down next week. I'm like, I am? I hadn't even realized that literally it is next week when I'm not flying, but driving up to Maryland to visit my sister. It's just, wow. Yeah, it's just wow. I got no other words for you. It's just wow. Also, I noticed I didn't bring my water bottle and I'm already running out of voice. What I've been trying to say is that it's felt like no time at all since the last video where I shared my autumn hopeful makes. Luckily, my brain works differently from other people. I know that most of the world associates autumn with just the month of September, and then October is spooky season, and then one day in November is autumn again. But for me, since I live in a place where it tends to be hotter more than not, I live in Florida, and before I lived in Florida, I was born and raised in Puerto Rico, so yeah, I'm used to the tropical weather. So I feel that fall for me actually really starts in October, and then I'm a spooky girl for 2 weeks of October, and then back to November I'm still a fall girl. So yeah, my clock runs differently to other people. Let me know if that's something that happens to you because of where you live in the world. If you live in the northern hemisphere, I know if you are friends in the southern hemisphere are actually transitioning into spring. So I hope you're having a lovely, bountiful spring season. It just started, I know. But before I just get further carried away in just a chatty podcast, I have a lot to share with you. I have finished a lot of things, and I've done a lot of videos, as I said in the beginning. So the first two finished items that I'm going to be sharing with you today have actually been video tutorials, and I will link them for you in the iCard or in the description box in case you missed them, or in case you wanted to watch them later but you kind of forgot, because that happens to me often. Again, no judgment. So the first video tutorial that went up was actually the orchard slippers, and these are here. These orchard slippers were first released as part of a Knit Crate monthly subscription box. That company is no longer running, so I got all the rights back to the patterns that I had released with them, and I wanted these specific slippers to be a free video tutorial. You can find the paid for pattern on Ravelry, but you can also find the free video tutorial here on YouTube. I wanted people to have a palette cleanser, and I know for those of us that are able to work with chunkier weight yarns that they make great gifts. If that is something that you are planning for this coming season, then yeah, the orchard slippers would make a great gift. Incidentally, these will be a gift for my sister as well, so I'm excited to share these with her, but I might actually save them for Christmas, because I in the pattern video tutorial, I don't share this with you, but I do want to add faux leather to the bottom of the slipper so it's a nice functional sole and you don't slip and slide everywhere when you're using these. I'll leave the video linked for you where you can get all the details on these slippers, but they are made with a super bulky weight yarn and a 10mm crochet hook. So quick make, you can literally make 2 pairs of slippers in a day. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. Now, the other finished make I also made into a video tutorial, and it's something that I really love. It's something that I really love, and I'm just gonna share it with you. Okay. I have crocheted a jumbo pumpkin, or as I like to refer to it, a pumpkin pillow, because it's crocheted with Bernat Blanket Extra. So it's a jumbo yarn, and I love it. It's squishy, and just looking at it sitting on my couch makes me so happy. I don't know what else I can say about this. I really like it. And again, if you are able to work with jumbo weight yarns, this one's a quick make as well. Not as quick as the orchard slippers, but you know, it's up there with quickish. And I need to start one today, because my sister had asked if I would please make one for her, because she loves these Sherpa cushions. So it's her birthday. Plus, I'm not in a rush to finish it, because it's a 13-hour drive to Maryland, so I could finish it in the car. Not this one though. I would like to leave with it mostly finished. But what I mean, you know, like weaving in ends, any of those last bits. Yeah, I really like. I know a lot of people have pumpkin patterns out there, but I just wanted to give mine, and I wanted to make one for myself and share it with you, so I did that. I'm gonna put it down now, because I could literally just cuddle this all day. So the other finished make that I honestly did not think was going to be a finished make is what I'm wearing. And I am wearing the Love Magic sweater. I can't even get I'm going to insert a video of me wearing this sweater here, because I doubt that I can get a good picture of it. These bell sleeves are bell sleeves. They're monumental. It's basically like knitting 3 bodies. That's what it is, because you have the body of the sweater and then you have the sleeves, and they honestly felt like knitting 3 bodies. I actually finished this yesterday. I wove in all the ends and I steam blocked it. And in the process of steam blocking it, I need to block it again better, I think, because the body the stitches didn't settle correctly, and I think I might just actually wet block it. So let it soak a little bit and rinse, you know, squish out all the extra water. But what I did find out is that you remember me saying that I thought the sleeve was too short, that I wanted it to at least reach my wrist. Well, on one hand it doesn't. On the other hand, it does. Now I know it might not seem like super obvious on the camera, but my right hand, or my right arm, actually has a tighter gauge than my left arm. And I figured that out when I was steam blocking the lace panel at the cuff and on the body. This side, the left side, blocked more. Also, of course, given the fact that in true Clarissa fashion, I didn't really do a gauge swatch. I cast on and I did the first couple of rounds of yoke and then I measured my gauge. And I did this because I don't know, it felt like less of a hassle than doing a gauge swatch, blocking that separately, and then coming back. I've become more familiar with how my gauge works in knit, and I did several changes to this pattern. Well, not in the written directions, but the yarn that was called for was a DK weight wool, and I used a DK weight cotton because it's what I had in my stash, and this pattern requires a lot of yarn because the bell sleeves take up a lot of yarn. There is a smaller sleeve that you can choose to do, but I went full on and I love it. I absolutely love this sweater and I really want to make another one. I'll have to purchase yarn for that though, unless I go with a worsted weight yarn and then the smallest size. It might work. But what I was going to get at was that not only did I choose a DK weight cotton yarn, but I also went down a needle size. I know that my gauge in knitting tends to be looser, especially in when I'm knitting flat. So I always like to go down 0.5 millimeters. And in this case, I went from a 5 millimeter, which is what the pattern was recommending, to a 4.5 millimeter knitting needle. I did purchase some extra needles to knit this because I wanted to have the 12-inch needle, cable needle, so that I could work the neckline and the sleeves before you start the increases. After that, I kind of went up to a 16-inch cable, and then I went up to a 24-inch cable. So I finished the bell sleeves and the body with the 24-inch cable needle, and then I maybe even went up to a 32. I used a lot of needles for this project, but you kind of need to unless you knit magic loop method, which is not my preference. So I decided against that. But yeah, the weight, how much yarn I used, and anything like that, you'll be able to find it on the Ravelry page. I am planning on doing a Ravelry page for this project, so you guys can benefit from, you know, yarn weights, yarn amounts, and that's really it because I honestly made no changes. I made size 2, and I went with a 4.5 millimeter knitting needle, like I just said. So I could not be happier with this make. It's been on my list forever and I am so happy that I made it. This is actually is it my 4th knit garment? I had a brain malfunction. This is my 4th knit garment. There was the cropped sweater for winter, the lady finger sweater, the knit vest that I made for Mom for her birthday, and this one, the Love Magic sweater, which I plan to make another one of. I plan on with the same bell sleeves. Oh, I really love this make. I hope you can tell. Also, the fact that I made it in cotton makes it really great for, like, I feel 70-degree weather. We'll see. I'll report back when I actually step outside with this garment. Haven't wanted to do it because I'm saving it for the trip to Maryland so that I can take some spooky fall pictures with it. We'll see. This was meant to be part of my Halloween costume this year. I just wanted to do like a 70s Halloween Barbie, and I thought this sleeve fit the bill. Also, I do want to do this to fit a Morticia Addams costume at some point in my life before I die. So, I believe I have one other finished item to share with you, and I'll share that one quickly because I think that in the Autumn Hopeful Makes video, I already talked about it, but now it's finished. And it is the pumpkin basket with the leaf coasters, and it's a design by Brianna K Designs. And we have it here. I have coasters, look, and then I have the pumpkin basket. Now, my basket didn't really come out like it was supposed to because I was using a thick and thin yarn. It was spun wool that was gifted to me that I just never really knew what to make with it because it was very woolly wool. So I decided to make this pumpkin basket, and I'm actually happy in the way that it turned out and I've used it. But if you're seeing this dirtiness, I stuffed it with another pumpkin. So you can see inside, there's another pumpkin. Okay, I will leave all these things that I'm talking about linked in the description box below. Now I thought we could talk about WIPs, works in progress, and I actually have 3 works in progress currently, but I don't want to take up too much of your time today. So, oh no! Behind me! You're probably shouting at the screen, Clarissa, what is that? It's another finished item. I know. I've been storing a lot of things to share with you, and you guys are the first actually to see this. I have not shared it. Well, I shared a little sneak peek on Instagram because I'm gonna do a tester crawl, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let me backtrack. This is the caramelo top. Originally, this design inspiration was named the Bobble in Time top. I have ixnayed that name because I didn't want this new top to be associated with that one. The first attempt at designing it, I only did a small and medium size. Small, the size that I tested, and a medium, the size that my mom tested for me. And this time I wanted to provide a lot more size options. So this caramelo top has been graded using the Craft Yarn Council guidelines from a 30-inch bust to a 62-inch bust. So it's got the full spectrum. I will, always a caveat, when we use the Craft Yarn Council guidelines, all bodies are different. So these, as they say, they're guidelines. This is kind of like what the proportions would be, but we all know that not everybody has the same proportions. I myself have a very long torso, I have a long torso, I have long legs, and I have a small bust, a bigger waist, and big hips. So like form-fitting dresses just don't work for me. Dresses that are supposed to like be straight don't work for me, and I know that, so I try to adjust whenever I can. And I do that not only for my own designs, but for other people's designs as well. So anyway, tangent of guidelines aside, this caramelo top has some similarities with the Bobble in Time top. It uses the same stitches, it has the bobble border at the bottom, and it has bobble sleeves, but I've included increases because I wanted this to be have 0 to little ease. So actually no, 0 to like at the most 1 inch positive ease. So I started with the waist measurements, then we increase for the bust area, do some armhole shaping, do some neckline shaping. And you guys know I favor a round neckline. I know, I do though. And then it's made in panels as well. So we have a front panel, we have a back panel. There is a tester call that will be going out for this caramelo top. And I'm going to be releasing it actually when this video comes out, which is on Saturday, the last day of September. In the Sunday's newsletter, I will also have a tester call there if you want to apply, and I'll be deciding probably Monday evening, Tuesday morning, who is going to go, who I'm choosing for the tester call. All sizes are welcome. This specific sample is crocheted in size 2, so I would still need a size 2 though, because I know what I wrote sometimes. Might not be clear, so we need to test that. and I made it using palette twist and palette yarns. So this palette twist, it's kind of got undyed wool and then just like a dyed wool, and it's kind of like, well, what do you call that? Is it barber coil? Something like that. So that's palette twist. And it's also done with the palette solid color. So this bottom is called Toffee, which is like a dark caramel color. And then the camel, which I don't know, I just love the combination. I really like it, and it screams autumn to me as well, because the short sleeves, it does have short sleeves, but it is made with 100% wool yarn, so there's warmth. It's a hug. It's a wool hug. Okay, that is it for finished makes. That really is it. I've worked on that list. I've worked on that list. So that brings us up to works in progress, and I'm going to be sharing one with you today. And that is that I started Witchy Wendy. And when I mean I started Witchy Wendy, I literally mean I started Witchy Wendy. This is all we have of Witchy Wendy. This right here is, this that I'm holding up to the camera is an arm. It is an arm that I still need to stuff lightly and then do the final round to close it off. Then I need to make the other arm, of course, because the Witchy Wendy pattern starts you off making the extremities, because I think that once you make the legs, you join to go in the round, I think. Don't quote me on that. But this is the Witchy Wendy that I was talking about in the Autumn Hopeful Makes video as well. And she's cute. She's cute. I do have to say though, I do not like making tiny parts. This is why I don't like making amigurumi. It's because I cannot. I find it so hard to crochet in the round when you have 10 stitches and you're using a tiny hook. I find it hard, okay? I find it hard, and sometimes I think I'm the only person that does, because I know that amigurumi is a very popular craft, and I'm not knocking it. I can totally see why. It's cute. It's cute things. But this will take time. That's okay. At least I started her, you know. And I am using Big Twist cotton. So it's Joanne brand, and it's 96 yards. 55 grams. So that is what I am using to, you know, just okay, all right. And next on my list is something that I need to cast on. And it is also part of my autumnal hopeful makes videos, and it's casting on the sweater for my husband. I am putting the superstitious pullover on hold for myself, and I am gonna cast this. It's called the this yarn actually is Trek hand dyed yarns, 100% merino wool, 382 yards, 100 grams. It's Amirisu yarn, and I bought it in Japan. My husband chose it specifically for me to knit him this year's sweater, and we have chosen the Panadero sweater. It's a sweater design from a Chilean wool dyer and designer named Felipe, and I will link it down for you if you want. I have not cast it on because number one, I need to wind up the yarn, but number two, I've never knit in Spanish. I've crocheted in Spanish, but I've never knit in Spanish. So I was trying to read over the pattern and familiarize myself with the abbreviations so that I would not do any blundering. You know, it's still stitches. I know that knit is called derecho and purl is called reversa or reverso. So I know now the abbreviations, and I've read through, I know how it starts, I know what I need to do to cast on, so I'm just gonna do it. Hopefully I will do it today. Today's a day of the week. Today's Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. So hopefully by the time that I edit this video and it goes live, I will have cast on my husband's Christmas, sort of. Okay, you guys know that he always gets the sweater in January because that's when I actually finish everything. So yeah, there's that. This is his January sweater, but he gets a sweater a year. Every January he gets a sweater. And I'm excited because this is actually the first one that's going to have short sleeves. So he was very hopeful that it would be done and it would be something he could use in Florida more than his other woolly long-sleeved sweaters. Whew. Oh my god, I feel like I've talked forever and I feel like somewhere between I keep losing and gaining my voice. So that is the crochet chat from me today. Those are all the things that I wanted to share with you craft-wise. Probably missed a few, but before we go, I did want to mention some crochet alongs or some mals that are going on. Now, if you're subscribed to my newsletter, you received this last Sunday, but I just wanted to do a little mention here on the podcast as well. There is a spooky sockathon going on. Morit magazine is doing a crochet along as well for designs from Morit magazine, and Ali of Starry Eyes Ali is running her annual Strictly Sock Along, or yeah, it's Strictly Sock Along. So I just wanted to give a little mention to those. And like I said, if you're subscribed to my newsletter, last Sunday you should have received a little list under the crochet news segment. Don't forget that if you want to subscribe to my newsletter, I'll leave that linked in the description box below. And if you like more crafty content, then you can head over to the description box as well. I will have the Discord server linked. So when you access Discord, you will not have access to all the channels on the server. You will have access to the rules channel. Now you need to read and acknowledge that you've read the rules, and the second thing you need to do is choose your member. So I have I think it's a US flag for English speaking members and a Spanish flag for Spanish speaking members, and that will just deposit you into the appropriate channels. Okay. The other thing that you can, of course, do is follow me on Instagram, and I try to post there. I haven't actually posted today. I had plans. I had big plans. So you can always follow me on Instagram as well. And like I said, you can always subscribe to my newsletter that I release, or try to release, every Sunday. It's got crochet news, it's got updates, weekly updates on the projects that I am working on. It's got things that have caught my eye from other makers, other creators, books that I'm reading, things like that. So if that sounds like it's your cup of tea, or a glass of wine, or your cup of caffeine, then you please go ahead and subscribe to my newsletter. Now, the last thing that I wanted to share with you is that October is a bit of an uncertain month for us. If you follow my mom, Mind and Muse Crafts, then you know she's had some health concerns recently, and she's going for a major surgery on the 18th of October. So I'm going to be flying down, my sister's going to be flying down, and we are going to be with her 2 days before the surgery, and then through the surgery. I don't know when I will be back in terms of when I will be back to Florida, but I am going to try and still work while I am home so that the YouTube channel isn't affected so much. I do plan on releasing a video next week as well, so we can start October off with a nice vlog. And then after that, I am hoping to film some content so that I can have it scheduled before I leave for Puerto Rico. But I just wanted to let you guys know that things might be a little uncertain during October. I do plan on releasing a pattern. Like I said, there will be a tester call for the caramelo top. Hopefully I'll be able to release this in November-ish, which, you know, is still not cold for me, so I think it works. And also, this is a piece that you can layer on because it's made with woolly wool, so you can just wear a long sleeve silk shirt under it, you know, if it's not really cold where you live. I feel like I'm starting to lose my voice from just talking for 40 minutes straight, so I am going to leave you here today. And thank you so much for joining me for this month's crafty catch-up. I hope that you liked all the makes that I shared with you, and I hope that you stick around. If you would like, you can subscribe to the channel. You can always leave me any comments, questions, queries, or concerns in the comments section, of course. You can message me on Instagram. You can join the Discord server, like I said, and of course you can always chat on Ravelry, email me, join the newsletter, all that. But just thank you from the bottom of my heart. I hope that you're having a wonderful crafty time, and I will see you in the next video. Happy crafting! Bye!